are you
Hi,
today?
Vivi. Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. Very well indeed. How are you?
Good. I'm very well. I'm good. Thank you. It's another Sunday morning. It's the Sunday after. Remember last week Sunday it was Easter
Great.
Sunday and
Last week, the weekend before this
before the
one.
weekend,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
I was really happy to just dig into the Easter food that I had prepared after church. So, and church was so great as well, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm glad it's another Sunday today, and we're here on the SonRise show. Our viewers, good morning to you guys. Hope you
Morning,
had
everybody.
a good Saturday. So today's Sunday, and we are about to have so much fun on this show today. Prof, I've got something for you, and I know that well, you always come prepared, so
Actually, before you throw the cat among the pigeons, I also just wanted to mention, in case it slipped under the radar for many people. Obviously, we had the Prime Minister's press conference at the beginning of the week to talk about the progress towards coming out of lockdown. So by tomorrow, we should have a few more things opening up. So the so-called step 3, I think. A few more things opening up, and you might be able to go to theaters or at least, hospitality. And then that's leading up to 17th May, where people might be able to do some sort of international travel. Who knows, right? Yay! So I think that's something to celebrate, not to forget that for so many of our sessions last year, we're talking about how we could get out of COVID and the vaccinations and so forth. And now we're really turning the corner. If anything, you see the contrast, right? Because some other countries in Europe and so on, they are not faring as well. So let's be grateful for it in that regard.
There is absolutely there is. And you know what this whole lockdown has taught me? It's to say, when they say that there is definitely hope at the end of the tunnel, or there's light at the end of every tunnel, this is it for me. Like, just stay strong. And when that time comes, you tend to enjoy it. So I really can't wait for when we can do whatever and just be free, right? So yes, we are grateful. We thank God for the gift of life, the fact that we are able to still be here 1 year on. We're still doing fine. The SonRise show is here again, another Sunday. So yes, God, we are grateful. So Prof, today, I was thinking about something, and I thought, this will probably be a very good conversation to have, especially with you, because I think in last week or the week before, there was something around, the labor leader visiting a place. I don't know. I'm going to let you, because I know you've read this and you really know a bit about it. You know a lot actually about it. So I'll let you talk about it. But why do I want to talk about this? It's basically around when we say that we stand for something. So personally, if I said to myself that I believe in women wearing trousers, right? And I suddenly become, let's even not say that I become a public figure. Let's just say I'm just a human being like I am, right? So I believe that women shouldn't wear trousers. And say I went somewhere, or I'm in the midst of some other people, and I said, oh, why is that lady wearing trousers? Because I don't think anyone should be wearing trousers. Like, a lady should be wearing trousers. And then maybe 2 people or 3 people around me says, but no, why shouldn't they wear trousers? Like push back, literally. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, maybe they can wear trousers. Actually, I apologize for that. Yes, they can wear trousers. So what does that really mean? Like, in a sense, what I'm trying to say is that when we say that we believe in something, this is what I stand for as a person. But as soon as there's a pushback from 1 or 2 people, especially maybe people that I truly respect and I hold in high regards, right? They push back on those things. I end up changing my mind on that thing.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does that then mean that I only thought that I knew what I stood for, or something like that? Or I don't know. Like,
yeah, I think I know where you're coming from. The fact is, if we stick with this example you've given, obviously only you know what's in your mind, right? We can only react and respond to what we think might be going on. And the example you've given, And I will give more detail about what you were talking about earlier. But before I get there, the example you've given reminds me of two sayings. One is this saying, the popular saying that if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Yeah.
And that saying is mirrored in the scripture, when the scripture says in the book of Ephesians that the reason why we have got the gift, the fivefold gift, or the gift to the church, is so that we would be established and not be carried about by every wind of doctrine.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's the same sort of thing. If you have a tree that is planted and is rooted in something, the more the tree becomes established, the less easy it is to move that tree. Of course, it depends on what the tree is established in. If it's on rock, if you just roll the rock, it moves. So I think the bottom line is there's a test of character that comes with an individual truly believing in something and being able to stand up for that thing they believe in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that means you never change your mind. But if you truly believe in something, you should be able to explain to me why you believe what you believe, and then let it be that I give you superior evidence that changes your mind. Because if you don't, then even if you agree with me, I'm not convinced you agree with me because you have seen and listened to what I've said and be convinced by it. It may just be that that's what you do. Anybody you see and they say something different, straight away you switch, right? So you don't really stand for anything. And the example you were talking about is when Sir Keir Starmer went to Jesus' house. I think that was last week. But stepping back a bit, in the last month or so, as part of the vaccination effort and fighting against COVID, Jesus' house had, as House on the Rock later on did, had provided its church premises as a vaccination center.
Yeah.
And I think for the past couple of months, they have really been part of that effort. And as a result, Prince Charles and then the Prime Minister went to the church premises. Say, in part at least, among other things, well done. We see how you're playing a role in this, in helping your particular community be able to have these vaccinations and increase the uptake of it. So we appreciate your efforts. Well done. Pat on the back. That was it. And then the Labour leader, a couple of weeks later, decided to do the same thing. But now there was a difference. So after he did that, a group of people, right, a constituency, some constituents of his, right, now pushed back and said, well, the community, the church that you went to is known for its views regarding certain social issues. They don't agree, or they say they don't agree with certain social issues. Yeah. So why should you be going there, or something to that effect, right? And then what Sir Keir Starmer did was to say, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize that I went there. I didn't actually realize that this was their view pertaining to such social issues. Now, this was, I think, barely a day after he had posted a video saying, oh, wonderful, the same thing. This is a great example of how you can have impact in your community and so forth, really praising Jesus' house as far as vaccination was concerned. And then, a day later, or however long, the video was deleted, and then there was this apology. And so I think the question you're asking, using that as an example, is to say, so what does this say then? Is this saying that the act of visiting the constituent community with which you may not agree on certain issues is itself a bad thing? When did it become a bad thing? Was it a bad thing before you got the pushback from these other constituents of yours? Or did it become a bad thing after you got that pushback from them? So if it was a bad thing before you got the pushback, then of course,
not being there in the first place.
Exactly, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And yes, you should apologize and say, well, I got it wrong, I should not have done it in the first place. If it was not a bad thing, and you're only then reacting to the displeasure of your constituents, then the question we would ask is, so are you saying then that some constituents are more important to you than other constituents? I mean, note the terms I'm using. These are equally your constituents, and they both have a right to be heard by you, right? You should not favor one over the other if you aspire to lead them.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the prime minister. You shouldn't, be favoring one constituency or the other. You should say, I can hear your views, I hear your views, and as the prime minister over all of you, I'm going to do my best to accommodate your views. And the same would have been the case if it happened the other way around. Imagine it was the other way around, and this politician had gone to visit this other constituency, and the other one had made the same. The same would apply. Because if you are a leader, an aspiring leader over all of them, then you should be able to say, I can come in and identify with certain things that you're doing that I agree with. It does not mean that I then agree with everything you're doing. And so the question you're asking, does this then mean that, in fact, there was no, self-conviction about the action that was taken in the first place? What does this tell us about that action? I'm being very. Let's not make this a discussion about the merits and or demerits of the actions of the Labour leader. This is not about it. But I think
to be fair, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say that, what if we're not even looking at it from a politician's point of view? Because, as politicians, whether yes or no, we know there are things that they do just because they have to do it, not because they truly believe in it themselves. But if we bring it home to ordinary people, everyday people believing in something and not being able to stand by that thing for the rest of their lives, except something really drastic changes, or someone brings up something that is more of something that will make you change your mind about that thing, So how do we deal with it? How do we handle it? And how do you see it as well?
I would say there are two things at play here. So there is standing for and there's standing by. Okay, and I think these are different things. And I think what we're talking of right here is really standing up for something.
Yeah.
In the first instance, we're not even talking about whether what you're standing up for is right or wrong, right? Because that's where standing by comes in. Because as you continue to subject it to the test of rightness or truth, if you get to a point where you find out, this is not the right thing, then you don't need to stand by it. You can say, okay. But at some point, for all of us, think about it. Isn't this what happens when people want to get into a relationship, right? You believe strongly enough in this relationship in the first instance to stand up and take a step towards that person and say, this is what I believe in, I'm going to do something about it, right? And then the standing by continues. You believe enough in it to stand up and say, okay, I'm going to stand up and we're going to walk down the aisle together because you believe strongly in it. If you didn't, are you saying that the people that end up committing to a relationship through marriage, are you saying that they didn't face opposition, or that they didn't face somebody saying, there will always be that? Or whether you're making a decision as far as your career is concerned, even your ministry, sometimes the voice of opposition will come from within you. Sometimes it may come from people around you. So you get to a point where you say, you know what, this is something I believe, I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to believe enough in it to actually push back when somebody says, oh, but why are you doing this? You say, well, I'm doing this because I believe this is the right thing for me to do, or this is the reason for me to do it. It's the same thing we talk as well pertaining to our faith when we go to communicate our faith to other people and we share our faith. If the person is actually listening to what we're saying, they may have questions, and then they would say, why are you talking about this? Why do you think this is worth doing? I think it's worth doing because of X, Y, Z. The other way around as well. You may be the person asking the person the question, right? And then the person says, well, I do not believe because of X, Y, Z. At least they are standing up for what they believe, because that tells you if tomorrow they are to change their minds to the other side, they will also stand up for them.
They will stand up for that,
So I think it's a discipline, it's a test of character that we should all really, I think we should look into ourselves and ask ourselves the question. If I'm not willing to stand up for something that I've said that I believe or I believe in, what does that really say about my claim? If you are in an organization and you have a perspective, it may not be popular perspective, but it's something you're convinced that is the right way for the organization to go. Okay. And obviously, I have to say this within context. I know that in some organizations you don't have a safe space, and if you express dissension, that might be the end of your career.
Can't help you.
In that organization. So obviously, I'm talking of where there is not so much at stake in that context. Even having said that, there are places as well where you see people who are whistleblowers, for example. Generally, whistleblowers, when they whistle blow, their careers generally don't go anywhere after that, right? And people sometimes believe so strongly that they do that. So even in that context, right? But without taking it to that extreme, it can be something as simple as being in a team of people, and you have people who are, like you said, who you respect, who may be in a position to impact the trajectory of your career, and all you're doing is kind of playing, guess what they're going to say, guess what they want to hear. So you say what you think they want to hear, right? Because that's and in some places that's what gets your head. Unfortunately, it doesn't help with character, because then if you develop that kind of behavior, you find out that whenever you are in an environment where there's even the slightest raising of an eyebrow pertaining to something you've said, instead of you saying, well, here's the reason I've said what I've said. You may disagree, but this is the reason I said it. You find yourself in a situation where you're immediately backtracking and finding a way to erase it and delete things and trying to pretend that it never happened in the first place. And then you end up with a generation of the people that you say, well, actually, what do you what do you actually believe? Let's not even say whether it's right or wrong. I just want to understand, what is it you stand for? Just give me something so we can start from there and have a conversation. And I think for the church, this is one of the battles, the biggest battles. One of during the last push we had great prayer sessions all the time, amazing stuff, right? But I think one of the ones that really stood out for me were the prayer sessions we had on the Friday, the second Friday, I believe, where we're talking of spiritual warfare. And both in the morning and the watch night sessions, Pastor Temi was talking about this idea, and I think Pastor Jimmy as well, the people that led the prayers, were talking about how the place of spiritual warfare, the key battleground is the mind, right? And then talked about there was this whole series about principalities, powers, rulers of darkness in this world, wickedness in the high places, and then imaginations, thoughts. All of these things talk about building things and establishing ways of thinking and ways of doing things. And you see, it goes both ways. One way is to establish a stronghold around a right way of thinking that says to you, this is what I believe. I'm going to subject you to the light, because the light reveals the truth. And when after it's been subjected to the light, I will take what is left and I'll build on it. The other way of thinking would be, this is the way to do it. Put it in darkness, never expose it to light, and make sure you cover it so that nobody actually knows what's inside it. And then you keep changing it, and then you end up just building a lot of castles in the air, right? And this is one of the battles facing the church, right? And because you have to take a position at some point. You can't keep saying it gets to a point, certain things, you gotta decide, this is what we stand for on this basis, and then you have to take that stand.
And Prof, I know you say that, and I just want to say very quickly that I say, before you say that this is what I stand for, you have to be sure that you are 100% convinced about that particular thing. So you will only be moved on it if, let's say, for whatever reason, your own views on it are about maybe 90% or 50 or 60, 70%, and someone comes with something else that's more valid and all. But other than that, if we're saying that this is what we stand for, and as you said, as a church, there will be that time where you just need to be very clear on what you stand for and let people know that about you. And trust me, whoever wants to plug into that will plug into it. And who doesn't want to, it's all well and good as well. But where the challenge is when people are going left, right, they're just like yo-yo kind of a thing. And I have to say, the Labour leaders' action really upsets me personally. So this is me personally, because I felt all he had to do was just to maybe even just apologize, right? Or don't even apologize. Everyone has right to whatever it is they want to. I mean, he went there just for a particular purpose. And this is why with politicians, right, you never can get it right with them. So, but anyway, Prof, I'm going to leave you on that.
Well, yeah, I think that was good. I think we've come to the end of the time there. But yeah, I think that's a good point. We always have to find the truth. Just to buttress what you said, find the truth. Don't be quick to speak. Just be quick to speak.
Yeah.
You know, listen twice. Listen once God spoke, twice I heard it. Listen very carefully, find the truth, and then when you find the truth, you hold it and don't sell it.
Yes.
Right? That's what the Bible is. Buy the truth and don't sell it. And that's the important thing. You would then not have to keep backtracking and swinging from one branch to another if you're holding the truth. But if what you have is not the truth, then you're going to have to do that. But anyway, we have somebody waiting to join us on Spotlight Minute. So let's not keep her waiting for too long.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a few seconds. Hey, Busola. Good morning. Again.
Hello, again. Yes. Like we see you every time now on this show. What's going on? You love it.
How are you doing? How are you?
Great. You know, in Sunday best. So
yeah, I know.
I can see that. I'm loving the hair, you know. So I think at some point on this show, I need to get some hair for Prof. Honestly, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to have you. Sorry, you were saying?
I thought he's the only one that doesn't have some locks, so we definitely.
I'm good.
He's good as he is. Yes.
I appreciate the thought. But yes, you know, you thought you got away last week without doing a Spotlight Minute, but we said we're going to get you back, and here you are.
Thank you.
Welcome, and it's the Spotlight Minute. So viewers, you know how we roll on this. Busola thought she got away last week, but of course she's now on the hot seat now. So Busola, we have 7 questions answered, 8 questions or 7 questions answered so far under 30 seconds. So let's see how many questions you would answer under 30 seconds. As I always say, you know, if you don't have an answer for a question, just say pass. So yes, you've been watching the show. They're very good. So Prof can read another question to you. And so if you're ready, I am ready. The timer will be on the screen. If you can't see it, don't worry about it. I'll shout when your time is up so you can stop. But yes, so Prof, are you ready?
Ready to go? Yeah.
Busola, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
You are? Okay, so let's go for it. And your time starts now.
What's your favorite movie?
Armageddon.
What is your hidden talent?
I can sing.
What is your least favorite food?
Eba.
Your favorite song you never get tired of?
Oceans.
What was the last book you read that you couldn't put down?
F9.
What's your favorite internet website?
Amazon.
What is your biggest
Time up.
F9 was it? Was F9 that undid it?
That was my accountancy exam. I'm like, oh my god.
You really were trying there. You were just trying to remember. You're the F9. I would have just said F9. Let Prof run find what F9 is.
Oh, good. Well, that was
good. That was 6 questions, but yes, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
No, like I keep saying, a few weeks ago, that would have been at the top of the leaderboards. Now, it's just the next year down, but still good. You know, for the vast majority of the year, that was the target. You know,
it was the target. Yes. Well done to you, sis. Don't worry, you shall be back very soon. So maybe when you come back, we'll be on 10. And I mean, I can't wait for us to get to 10. I think we just need to hit this thing up a little bit more. But it's okay. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks.
See you again. We'll see you in service. Take care. Bye. Oh, wow. Welcome back, viewers. Oh, Prof, honestly, Busola really tried. Busola, well done to you. Well done.
So that's the thing with this, right? When you're at the edge of high performance, just a little stumble can make it's like a 100 meters race, right? Everybody's moving so fast, like just a little hesitation, then that's it. Well, she did very well.
It is, but you did well, Busola. Well done to you. So, Mayowa and Goziam, just keep rocking that crown. Keep rocking the crown. Okay. All right, guys. It is time for service, and as always, Prof, over to you, please, to take us into service.
Yes, last Sunday, last weekend, powerful, the resurrection weekend, where we kind of opened the package of resurrection. But we won't leave it there. I know that this month, Pastor Temi is going to be spending some time to talk about experiencing this power. Yes, we opened the package. But what happens when we see the fullness of that power exposed and revealed in us? I can't wait to see what he's going to talk about today, but I know whatever it is, it's going to be great. Looking forward to seeing you in the service as we go over to it now. Enjoy it, and God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you all. See you soon.